Yo, what is up, YouTube? It's your boy Jake from Sports Look back here with the 2017 NFL Mock Draft 2.0. This is exactly 4 days before round one starts. So, this is going to be a one round, no trade mock draft. And at this point, I think every team should know who their number one guy is. And there have been no trades up to this point. Beside, like the last trade was the Saints trade for Brandon Cooks. Saints trading away Brandon Cooks, so the Saints do have the 32nd pick. But other than that, no trades have been there. The order's the same, and I'm gonna get right into this. Okay, number one, Browns go Myles Garrett. I think we all know why he's going number one. There's really no dispute about why he's going number one. He's got the highest ceiling of any pass rusher, and that's, pretty self-explanatory. Number two, 49ers go Solomon Thomas. This is the first controversial pick in my opinion. The Niners have invested heavily in their defensive line over the last 2 years, and I think they may do it again here. Okay, in my honest opinion, I don't think that they should go D-line, but I think they will. So, Shanahan loves super athletic, low to the ground, big dudes, and Solomon Thomas fits that bill perfectly. I think the more likely scenario is that they trade out of this pick, but because I'm not doing a trade mock draft today, I will be releasing that either Wednesday or Thursday. The Niners are just going to go Solomon Thomas here. The Bears, they're going to go Malik Hooker. I don't really think there's any other option here. The Bears need a center fieldman, essentially. They need a guy like Ed Reed that can come in and cover half the field by himself, or all the field by himself. Okay, because you're in a division with Aaron Rodgers and Matt Stafford. You do not want to give those guys the deep ball because they will exploit you. And Malik Hooker's the best coverage safety in this draft, and I think you take him here. The Jags, they're going Leonard Fournette, Leo. He's the safest offensive prospect in this draft. Yeah, I'm willing to put that out there. He is the safest offensive prospect in this draft. Establish a super good running game with Leonard Fournette. Take some pressure off Blake Bortles and see if he can mature as a quarterback to heights that we really haven't seen him before, and maybe you don't have to trade him or look for another quarterback the season after this. Leo may help Blake Bortles in the long run. Number 5, Titans. They go Jamal Adams. Safest defensive prospect. Yes, more safer than Myles Garrett. Okay, I don't think Jamal Adams has had injury history, and I do have some concerns about Myles Garrett from a play perspective, but he's still the highest potential guy, and Jamal Adams is right there next to him. Titans need secondary. Jamal Adams is the best player still on the board, and he just happens to play safety, so I think that you have to go with him there. Jets, they go Marshon Lattimore. I know people are raving about Jets going quarterback, but I'm not sure if they do that yet. I have a feeling that Todd Bowles is going to want to give Christian Hackenberg a try, and I don't think that the Jets are stupid enough to waste a 6th overall pick on any quarterback in the top 6. Okay, you go with Marshon Lattimore, you get a super stud. Okay, a guy like Darrelle Revis, or what you thought Darrelle Revis was going to be when you signed him to that long-term deal. Yeah, cover corner. You have a great defensive line and a good pass rush. Just get a cover cornerback that can shut down half the field, and you'll be good. All right. Just need to worry about the offensive side. The Chargers, they're going Ryan Ramzyck. In my opinion, he's the best left tackle on the board, and the Chargers need offensive line. Pretty self-explanatory. Panthers, they go Dalvin Cook here. I've seen a lot of people with Christian McCaffery here. I tend to think that Dalvin Cook would fit the system better than Christian McCaffery. The Panthers run a lot of power, and I'm not sure if McCaffrey can handle, you know, 25, 30 carries a game. I think McCaffrey can handle 25, 30 touches a game, but Dalvin Cook is the guy that can handle 30 touches out of the backfield a game. So I think the Panthers go him. It's a better scheme fit. I do like McCaffrey a little more overall, but that doesn't mean that he would fit the system better. Bengals go Garrett, Boles. They lost Andrew Whitworth in the offseason. They did find his replacement just to keep Andy Dalton alive, essentially. Bills go O.J. Howard. This is a surprising pick for a lot of people. Bills, I think, just go best offensive player on the board. Their defense is pretty set. So O.J. Howard would be an immense upgrade over whoever they have offensively. Like, even better than Sammy Watkins. Because Sammy's always hurt. O.J. is a super reliable target that I think that he can be Greg Olsen-like. I don't really like making comparisons, but O.J. is so athletically gifted, and he's so good with his hands that he can be like a Greg Olsen. And I think that the Bills run a similar offense to the Panthers, and OJ's going to get... If OJ gets drafted by the Bills, I think that he's a 1,000-yard receiver in his first year from the tight end position, which is going to be super cool to see. Saints here. Saints go Johnathan Allen. Yeah, I have Johnathan Allen slipping because of the arthritis issue, and I think that the Saints do take a chance on him. He is, in my opinion, the second or third best defensive player in this draft. Okay? And I think that the Saints need defense only, so they just go best defensive player available, and that would be Johnathan Allen. The Browns here, they roll the dice, so they go Mitch Trubisky. Okay, I don't like mocking quarterbacks in the first round in this year's draft because I don't think that any of these guys are worth it, but this is what I think will happen, not necessarily what I think should happen. So, Browns go Mitch Trubisky here. Get their franchise quarterback. The boy from Cleveland comes back. And, God bless Mitchell Trubisky's soul. He's got to go to the Browns. Possibly be the next in a long line of shitty quarterbacks they've had. Cardinals, they're going Pat Mahomes. People seem to be loving this kid for whatever reason. I don't really like him a lot. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for that, but I don't like him. I don't like his technique. I don't like his footwork. His fluidity is pretty poor. He's not very consistent with his throws. But I think that if he's able to sit for 2 or 3 years, he can be very good. It just depends on the team that drafts him, and I think that the Cardinals are the best team to draft him, better than Andy Reid, okay? Because I think that Bruce Arians is a better quarterback coach than Andy Reid is. So yeah, Pat Mahomes goes to Arizona, sits behind Carson Palmer for whatever he's got left, and hopefully he picks up a thing or two from Bruce Arians. He better. That dude is an amazing quarterback coach, and hopefully he'll do better in 2 to 3 years, and I'll eat my words because I hope I will, because I want to see Pat Mahomes do well. Eagles, they go Marlon, Humphreys. Obvious pick here, cornerback. Eagles need secondary, specifically cornerback, and Marlon Humphreys is probably the best corner on the draft board still. He's a physical guy. He's super athletic, and he can run. Yeah, I don't really think I need more explanation. Colts, they go Derek Barnett. I need a pass rush. Yeah, Colts need a lot, mostly defense, so they go Derek Barnett. Ravens go Mike Williams here. All right, first wide receiver off the board at 16. Might I add. All right, so Mike Williams, I think, he's going to be a very good player. I don't think he has the highest ceiling of any of these players, especially wide receivers. But Ravens need a wide receiver, especially after Steve Smith retired for good this year. And the Ravens wide receivers right now are, correct me if I'm wrong, it's going to be Breshad Perryman, Mike Wallace, and I can't even think of anyone else. Caponero, I think is the other guy's name. Yeah. All right, so they need wide receiver really bad. Mike Williams is the best wide receiver coming out. So I think that they just go Mike Williams and get a solid, great receiver. Like, he's not going to stretch the field, but he's going to give Joe Flacco a huge target, and that's really all he needs. Malik McDowell is the next pick. To the Redskins. Redskins need defense. A lot of people have him going linebacker, and I would take the argument for Reuben Foster here, but I think Malik McDowell has a super high ceiling, probably the highest of anyone still on the board here. Yeah, he's just a super long freak of nature athlete, and I think the Redskins need that type of defender, so they go Malik McDowell. Titans, they go Corey Davis. Again, I think he's got the most potential of any wide receiver on the board here. He's had some injury history. That ankle injuries kept him out most of the offseason, so that's dropped him down draft boards a little bit. So I think the Titans can scoop him at 18 and be happy with that. Christian McCaffrey goes to the Bucs. I know the Bucs have a crap ton of running backs on the team, and they still have Doug Martin, but I don't know what's going on with Doug. I've heard conflicting reports about alcohol abuse and drug abuse, possibly, and that's why I didn't play a lot last season. So I'm not sure how reliable he can be for the upcoming year. And I think Christian McCaffrey is so incredibly gifted that you can play him at multiple positions and still have Doug Martin in the field. You can slot out Christian McCaffrey. You can punt return and kick return with the dude. He's just a super good all-around athlete and super good all-around running back, wide receiver combo guy. So I don't think the Bucs can pass up on that and give Jameis Winston a little bit of help. Denver, they go Forrest Lamp. Best offensive guard in the draft. Denver needs offensive line more than they need anything else, and Forrest Lamp's the move here. Lions. The Lions, they go Reuben Foster. Yes, Reuben Foster's taken off the board. Probably the most controversial player. Yeah, I'm going to say the most controversial player of the offseason here. Got kicked out of the combine. Like 2 days ago, I read that he failed a drug test. So, a lot of red flags popping up for old Rueben here, man. And I think the Lions will take a chance on him because they have not had a stud linebacker since DeAndre Levy 4 years ago. And they need a guy on that defense that will solidify that inside and make a lot of tackles and make plays. And I think Reuben Foster can do that for him. Dolphins, they go Hasson Reddick. They wanted Reuben Foster. Just unfortunately, Lions were ahead of him one position. So they go next best player at the linebacker position, which is Hasson Reddick. Giants, they go Cam Robinson. They need tackle, specifically left tackle, and there's no other left tackle besides Cam that even has close to the amount of potential that he has. I think Cam is a better left tackle right now than Eric Flowers. So you can move Flowers to the inside and move Cam to the outside, and you can hopefully solidify whatever positions that they move to. I don't really think that offensive line got much better because you still have Eric Flowers on the team, but Cam Robinson's holding down the left side, so that's going to be a little less pressure on Eli to throw more picks, I guess. Raiders go Gareon Connolly. I'm kind of surprised that he slipped this far for cornerback, to be honest. Gareon's probably the third best corner on the board, and he's going, top 24, which is a little bit low for me. I thought he would probably go a little bit higher than that, but it's just how it fell. I think he fits the Raiders scheme perfectly. I think that he is the embodiment of a true big cornerback. He's 6'3" something. He ran a super fast 40 time. His tape just explodes. When you watch him on the field, he's so fast and so fluid with his motions, and he can shade, he can cover, he can go inside, he can go outside, which I thought surprising for a big guy. So I don't think the Raiders pass up on a guy that can really be a number one cornerback in the NFL. So they go Gareon Connolly. Texans go quarterback. Texans are in desperation mode. They essentially bet the farm that Tony Romo would be released, and
they kind of shit the bed on that one, huh? All right, they traded away Brock and got no luck with Romo, so they gotta draft a quarterback or they gotta be content with rolling into the season with Tom Savage. Yeah, that's a I wouldn't want to bet on that. So they go Deshaun Watson. Hopefully Deshaun can do very well. I think that he can because the Texans team is extremely good and can cover for a lot of his flaws, but I don't know, man. Like I've never seen a team so poor with decision making for quarterbacks. So I don't know what the Texans are going to do. I assume they're going to go quarterback, even though they're telling me they're not to, which I think is BS. So the Texans go Deshaun Watson. Uh, yeah, that's basically it. Seahawks, they go Deion Dawkins, offensive guard. I know this is a little weird. They pulled the trigger on German Ifedi last year. So they're very, very capable of reaching for an offensive lineman because offensive line is their only need, right? Because that's essentially their only need on offense or defense is offensive line. They have their quarterback. Their running backs are good. They have a great wide receiver core and a tight end group. Their defense is essentially still elite, but it's dropping significantly faster than I think people realize. Um, so yeah, they go Deion Dawkins and try and make a last ditch Super Bowl run. I think this is coming up on their last availability because I think they all their Legion of Boom players are getting old. Russell Wilson's contract is biting into other players' contracts, so they can't really re-sign everyone. And Deion Dawkins, if he plays guard, he'll be good. But they still need an answer at left tackle. So I guess this solidifies their line a little bit. And then we got the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going Tre'Davious White. Okay, I know that people are going to question me about. They're going to say, well, Jake, they got Marcus Peters. Why didn't they need to draft a cornerback? Well, if you look at the stats, Marcus Peters did very well. Everyone else in that secondary did not. Okay? Excluding Eric Berry. Okay? Eric Berry plays safety. He's a stud at safety. Every other cornerback on that team sucked. They gave up so many yards through the air. It was ridiculous. Like, people think the Chiefs got this stud secondary because of one player. It's not how it works. Okay? You need a whole bunch of good corners and a whole bunch of good safeties to have a great secondary. The Chiefs got one good secondary, but two good secondary players, and you need more than two to be great. So they go Tre'Davious White, lock up the slot position, and then we can consider them to be great. Because I think Tre'Davious can take away the slot of any team. Okay, he's probably, if he was 2 inches taller, he'd probably be the second cornerback off the board. So yeah, the Chiefs go Tre'Davious White here, and yeah, that's it. They don't look back. Cornerback is their one position in need, I think. Besides quarterback, I don't think there's any quarterbacks to really, play here. Cowboys, they go Charles Harris. Charles Harris, 4-3 defensive end. I really like this kid. I think he's a really good pass rusher, and that's exactly what the Cowboys need, pass rushing ability. They didn't really have it last year. They lost a lot of their defense, especially secondary, so they're going to need to cover up that with a super good pass rush, and I think Charles Harris can bring that. Packers go TJ Watt. They need an all-around linebacker. TJ Watt is probably the best linebacker at switching positions. What I mean by that is he can play multiple positions at a good level. He's just not going to play any one position at a great level. Like, I don't think he's a great pass rusher. I think he's good in run support, and I think that he's got extremely good technique, but I don't think he has the athleticism to play like the middle linebacker. He could probably play Will, but I don't know. You can do a lot with TJ Watt, and I think that the Packers will value that. So they go TJ Watt there. Steelers go Tim Williams. they're going to risk it for the biscuit. Okay, Tim Williams is the best pass rusher still on the board. He has a lot of red flags. A lot of them. But the Steelers seem to like that. Okay, the Steelers seem to like red flags, guys. Guys with super talent, but not necessarily the greatest off the field. So I think the Steelers go Tim Williams here. And if he does well, if he does anything close to what I saw in college, Steelers might be a damn Super Bowl team. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, Tim Williams brings a lot. If he busts, then, well, the Steelers are still going to make the playoffs, but they're probably not going to win the Super Bowl, and you're going to waste Ben's career, essentially, because he's probably got 2 or 3 years left. You're going to waste, like, the very back end of his career on nothing. Falcons go Takk McKinley. They need to edge rush. All right, it's cool that they have Vic Beasley, but I would just like a little bit more than Vic Beasley, because I don't really think Vic's gonna have a season like he did last year, where he leads the NFL in sacks. People are gonna key on him more, and I don't even know who the other pass rusher for the Falcons was. I know Dwight Freeney was on that team somehow still, and yeah, that was the only other pass rusher I knew, and Dwight Freeney was like 40 years old. So get Takk McKinley, get a super good pass rusher who's young and who has a massive ceiling, and then just work on him from there. All right, I think the Saints, and then the next pick, Saints, final pick of the draft, first round at least. They go Zach Cunningham. All right, Zach Cunningham. Again, best defensive player on the board in my opinion. Saints need a great linebacker. All right, they got a super stud defensive tackle. All right, and the 11th pick in Johnathan Allen, and if they get Zach Cunningham, that front seven for the Saints has just turned into very good. Like, it went from shit to very good, and like 32 picks. It's insane. So that's gonna do it for me. First round, no trades. You can hold this to me. Okay. Please subscribe. Please like. Please do all that stuff. Alright, man. It means the world to me. It really does. I'm just starting out on YouTube, and I really need some support. You'll probably be getting another mock draft from me Wednesday or Thursday before the draft with trades. So, yeah, that's going to do it for me. I'll see you guys later.